I attended a private event for big YouTubers recently, and in this event MrBeast revealed his entire secret formula for how he gets more than 40 million views on every single video. And I took a ton of notes and a ton of pictures from the event, so make sure you watch until the end because I'm going to reveal everything. It starts with understanding how YouTube drives views. People love to overcomplicate things, but MrBeast, he keeps it very simple and only focuses obsessively over what really matters: click-through rate and watch time. His entire strategy is designed on maximizing those two elements, and honestly everything else is pretty much irrelevant. If people don't click on your video, then it doesn't matter how good it is, so he treats click-through rate as the biggest priority. He follows a 3-step process to increasing CTR, but he also mentions that the biggest thing that affects click-through rate is how much a viewer enjoyed the previous video that they watched made by you. In essence, creating extremely amazing content is actually also an additional way to increase your CTR further, because viewers who really like your videos will remember that and want to jump onto your next upload as soon as they see it. In terms of what you can control for a specific video, it comes down to 3 things: topic, title, and thumbnail. MrBeast focuses on finding a topic that is simple to understand. If people don't understand the topic, it won't have the ability to get 100 million views like he wants to. The example he gives here is the idea of surviving 24 hours in a place, or getting hunted by someone. If you spend 24 hours in the Bermuda Triangle, that is way more interesting than spending the same time in your backyard, even though both scenarios are relatively the same content, spending 24 hours in a specific place. It's the same thing with his other example, getting hunted by the FBI. He could have done a video where he got hunted by his brother, but that's just not as interesting, and a more interesting topic can get more than 300 times the views, he said. Even just slightly changing your topic without having to increase the effort of the video can make a world of a difference in video performance. Next comes the title. It should be short and simple and easy to understand, and here he gives some examples. The title should be explaining in the shortest way you can that still conveys the concept of the video. Your title shouldn't be too descriptive or too complex, and if your title is more than 55 characters, it's going to get cut off in a lot of places that the viewer sees it. Only give the viewer the important stuff that they need to know, and you can see the examples here too. And for thumbnails, he gets actually a lot more excited here. So first of all, your thumbnail needs to accurately describe the content, be simple and visible, as well as colorful and bright. The thumbnail sets the expectations of the viewer for the video, so it's important that it's relevant to the content, otherwise your watch time is just going to get ruined. And he gets into his thumbnail process with 2 video examples: when he filled his brother's house with slime and when he spent 50 hours buried alive. For the first video about filling his brother's house with slime, he said he couldn't make the thumbnail while they filmed the video because everything just got destroyed, so instead he built a completely new room and just threw up some walls in his studio and then put a bunch of stuff in it, like furniture and decorations, and then fully filled it completely with slime in real life, and then he got in the slime pit physically to take the picture for this thumbnail. Then he did some editing to make the slime greener and the colors a lot brighter, and adjusted the details to make the scene look more realistic. He said he's very extra with thumbnails, but that's what makes the difference for him between 100 million views and 10 million views on his videos. And he emphasizes that the thumbnail literally decides whether or not people watch your video or someone else's video instead. He will often spend more than $10,000 making thumbnails for his videos and does whatever it takes to make the absolute best possible picture because it truly does matter that much. The next example is for his Buried Alive video. He built a custom set in real life entirely for the thumbnail. They dug a new hole, put a coffin in it, and then just took a bunch of pictures in it and edited things from there, emphasizing the most important elements and making things more visible, as well as adding some text to emphasize the scale of the video of surviving for 50 hours. MrBeast will usually make 2 to 3 or more completely different versions of thumbnails for his videos, and if a thumbnail doesn't perform well, he'll change the thumbnail to something else. And he shows some examples of that, and these thumbnail upgrades, actually a lot of them saved his videos and more than doubled the views on them. Another tip he mentions is when you have your thumbnail, if you want to see how the viewers would experience it, you should screenshot a picture of the YouTube feed on your phone and then Photoshop your thumbnail onto it, and then open the picture again on your phone and you can see exactly what a viewer would see if they recommended your thumbnail to them on the mobile device. When you edit a thumbnail in Photoshop, you know, everything is so big, it's really hard to tell on a computer screen what your thumbnail actually looks like, but on YouTube, actually the vast majority of your views are usually coming from mobile devices, so seeing how the thumbnail looks like on a mobile device is definitely really important, and you have to design your thumbnails for mobile viewers primarily. So now that someone has clicked on your video, the much harder part is really how you get them to watch the whole thing. For improving average view duration, MrBeast focuses on 3 things: intro, storyline, and the payoff. For intro, it's arguably the most important part of the video because likely you'll have more people clicking off during the intro than the entire rest of the video combined if your content is good. So what you need to do is first meet the expectations of what the title and thumbnail said. Prove to the viewer that the thumbnail wasn't clickbait and that it's actually what you're going to be doing. For example, he says if you have a video where it's you eating 100 bananas and at the start of the video it's just you shopping for bananas and doing a bunch of random stuff, it doesn't really meet the expectations and is going to cause a lot of people to click off. You should instead just start the video with you next to 100 bananas. The closer the start of the video is to the expectations you set with the title and thumbnail, the less people will click off during the intro. And with that, you also want to do as fast as possible, usually with just one sentence, explain the video, explain the payoff of the video, hook the viewer, and tell them why to watch. But really you have to do it super quickly. It shouldn't take ever more than one sentence. And then after that, immediately get right into the action of the video and do something exciting. The example he gives during his talk is he has this video that he got hunted by a real bounty hunter. And the first frame is just, this is a bounty hunter. If he catches me before midnight, he wins this $100,000. And then he immediately starts running away and the action just begins right away. He sets up the context of the video, establishes the payoff, tells people why to watch, and starts the action all within literally 10 seconds of the start of the video, or even less sometimes. And he also gives a really good example of what not to do with the same video. Someone could have an intro, for example, of like, I just hired a bounty hunter on Craigslist. Did you know that you can hire a bounty hunter on Craigslist? That's crazy. Anyway, I just found this bounty hunter. He's going to be chasing me all day, and if he can catch me before the end of the day, he gets $100,000. Legit. 100 grand right here if he catches me. So, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go. And Mr. Beast goes on to explain that actually most people on YouTube do their intros like this, but it's really just a super long way to accomplish the exact same thing that he accomplishes within 3 to 5 seconds with just one sentence in his actual video. And it makes a really big difference because people just want to watch the video. You don't have to explain the video. The title and thumbnail already accomplishes that for you. The viewer's not stupid. They know what the title and thumbnail of the video is. They have that information going into what they're watching. And so just set it up really quickly and just get into the video as soon as possible and entertain people right off the start. The next thing you need in your video is a good storyline that goes until the end of the video. Mr. Beast mentions that obviously not everyone has to do their videos like him to be successful, but again, it's just his process for his videos. For your story, it should be something that is an easy to understand objective. Making the story super complex with all sorts of extra twists and confusing elements and random extra objectives and things is just bad. It's just too confusing. It makes the video too hard to watch. People just want to get right into the content. They don't want to be confused or have to solve a riddle or a math problem just to understand what's going on in your video. And then as well, your story also really needs to stay on topic for the whole video, and especially to have no filler content. Really just keeping the story to what the viewer clicked on the video for and not messing around with things that the viewer wouldn't want to care about. Any moment that the viewer doesn't care about in the video is a potential moment for them to click off the video. So you really just have to keep things on topic, and either way, just keep in mind, you know, he said all content is different, so you want to find how to adjust things to your content in the best way possible. For the payoff, mainly what he means by this is just having a big climax at the end of the video that the viewer watches all the way to the end to see. The example he gives is if he makes a video on 10 people in a circle and the last to leave wins $100,000. Even if some parts of the video are maybe a little bit boring, people will actually watch the whole thing and stick around to see the payoff because they want to see what happens, they want to know who wins, and especially with the payoff, it's really valuable as well because it just leaves the viewer with a really satisfying feeling at the end of the video. So for your payoff, what you should do is have a clear goal for the end of the video, and especially in order to get people to watch until the end of the video, the payoff needs to be something that is constantly progressing throughout the whole video. Every minute of the entire video should have some type of progression towards the payoff happening so that the viewer stays engaged with the video. That's why when you watch any Mr. Beast video, you'll see him constantly referring back to the payoff and just building hype and tension for the final ending climax of the video. But he does that throughout the entire video because you really just have to keep reminding viewers of why they're watching and continually re-engaging them throughout the whole video. And then lastly, of course, you need to deliver the payoff at the end of the video, but after that, you need to end the video immediately. Everything after the payoff happens is completely irrelevant and everyone will click off immediately after the payoff ends. An example he gives is, let's say you did a video titled, I bought my mom a car. After you buy your mom the car, end the video immediately because the second that happens, the viewer got what they wanted to see and they don't care about anything else for the rest of the video. So if you had a bunch of extra few minutes of stuff of you driving the car around with your mom, celebrating with your mom, taking her out to dinner, doing some extra stuff, it doesn't matter. Nobody cares about it. Nobody wants to watch it. They're just going to leave and it's going to kill your average view duration. For understanding the audience retention of your videos, he also presents this graphic of just what certain things mean in your watch time graphs. If you have a flat slope, it means that viewers are watching from start to finish, and that's great. If there's a gradual decline, it means people are clicking off and you're losing viewers. Any bumps means viewers are rewatching or sharing those parts of the video. Dips means people are skipping over, and a big sudden drop means that viewers are leaving your video very significantly at that specific part of the video. He also shows some more examples here of his personal stats from his main channel, and he talks about how average view duration and CTR stats can be a little bit misleading sometimes. Because as videos get more views, views, the average view duration and CTR will usually go down by quite a lot. So the way to compare videos on your channels is to compare the videos at the same point in time when they have the same number of total views. He goes on to say that CTR and average view duration actually aren't entirely everything for success. People genuinely just have to love the content that you are making. Unfortunately, there isn't any data to show it, but it's extremely important for someone to watch your video and then want to go on and watch 10 more videos. Versus if they see one video, they think it was okay, but then maybe they decide to go watch something from someone else instead. Everyone has that one content creator that you really love where you see a new video, you just want to click on it immediately. The first time you saw them, you went and immediately you just watched 20 more videos from them. As a content creator, you need to be that person, and that really just comes through making a lot of really good videos that are extremely enjoyable to watch, that viewers really enjoy, and just always keep working on improving your content. And that is everything Mr. Beast shared for his content formula on YouTube.